done any live public comments in a while. Thanks for taking my time here. I support the motion to renew the emergency services declaration. I think that's pretty uncontroversial. I noticed in the backup, it just seemed like the best place to sort of address anything related to coronavirus. I thought I'd pull it out and make my comments here. Essentially, the backup in the agenda item talked about a letter on May 18th, and since then, last Friday, there's been some major changes with the county healthcare agency passing a additional guidance, which is on their website. And then yesterday at the Board of Supervisors meeting, which I believe you were at, Sheriff Barnes made it pretty clear he doesn't intend to enforce that county law. And so that's kind of what I want to focus on, is where does that sit here in the city of Rancho Santa Margarita as far as public safety and law enforcement. Just to review what the new order and strong recommendation is from our county health officer. It goes over self-isolation for persons with COVID-19. It talks about self-quarantine of persons exposed to COVID-19. Talks about rules with businesses that are not allowed to open as part of stage 2. And then what I wanted to focus on was the cloth face covering. And I think the CDC guidelines were published back in April 13th about wearing cloth face masks that basically if you're outside the home interacting with people who aren't in your family unit, you should be wearing a mask. They put directions on how to make one. And I think when the federal government puts directions on how to make one, they really want to remove all excuses for not having one. And that was over a month ago. So here we are, May 27th. The county clearly says, and you have this summarized on this handout, which is really good. It basically says, if you're not at home, if you're not with people who you live with, and you're not at least 6 feet away, you should be wearing a mask. So I look around here, you're not at home, you're not with your family unit. No one here is wearing a mask except for me and Jim Ward. And so I just kind of wonder, where does that fall as far as public safety and law enforcement? Because it's not just a matter of personal preference, it's mostly to protect other people. So I want to go to a store that enforces the county regulations on having everyone wear a mask. I go to Smart and Final and Ralph's. If people are there not shopping with masks, we can't even call the police. The sheriff isn't going to enforce it. And I don't understand who at the city level takes that responsibility, or if not at the city level, who do I escalate that to? Who's really in charge of law enforcement? If not the city manager, or the mayor yourself, or the city council collectively, or the chief of police services, who's usually sitting right there, but he's over there in the audience because we're spaced out. That right there is indication things are really different here. I don't know why you're not wearing masks. I don't know what we can do about that, and I think it's a little more urgent. Thank you.
Let me address that if I may.